Alright y'all, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be doing the episode a little bit differently than normal, so instead of doing a live gameplay with live commentary, I'm going to be doing a voiceover, and that's for a number of reasons. The first reason being, this was recorded during the Mega Harvest update, as you can tell by the giant honey owl jumping and thrusting in front of my face. So that was really early in the morning for me, and the commentary I did do, I sounded like a zombie, so I didn't want to post that. And another reason is because I just wanted to try something a little bit different, and I wanted to format the video a little bit differently this time, just to see. And number three, the third reason being, there is something that happens at the end of this episode. I will just call it the incident for now, and I figured it would be easier to explain it over voiceover rather than, live during gameplay. So I started out this update, it's about what? I think it'd be like, 6:50 in the morning for me right now. I logged on for these admin events, and the first one that I saw was that honey event. And then I just kind of waited around, waiting for more events to happen, and lo and behold, the next one was, wait for it, space. And I'd never seen this event before, guys. This was my first time ever logging on for admin events before an update, so I was just in awe, as you can see, by this space scenery and everything going on. So I explored a little bit. I wanted to go see what these purple things were because I didn't understand. Now I understand that these were the jets, and we're actually just like on a giant spaceship. So these were the jets that propelled us to space. Then this is when I realized, oh wow, I can actually jump super high. It's like we're in space. That's even cooler. And as soon as I figured that out, it was time for the event to end. So I just went back to my normal routine of going to check the gear shop and seed shop. But as you can see, I am very poor, like really poor. I don't even have $1 million, so I couldn't buy that paradise egg that you just saw. Instead, I went back to my garden and I decided to just look around, see what I can harvest. I'm still really nervous to harvest things because they all have, as you can see, different mutations like wet and windy and all that, and I feel bad getting rid of them because I worked so hard getting those mutations, But right now I'm just kind of looking around, looking at everything. I was trying to see what this was, and I was like, oh, okay, I failed my friendship streak. Got it. Awesome. Great way to start my day. Just continued looking at all my plants, kind of eyeballing what I should harvest in this next round just so that I can actually afford to buy things in the seed shop and the gear shop. That's when I found that tomato, which was galactic. That was the first galactic thing I've ever seen. And then I looked at all my lilacs and I saw they were all shocked, and I was like, wait, should I favorite those? I don't know how much those are worth. And before I could even make a decision, I saw Jindal say, oh, I'm going to admin abuse seed stock, so you can bet your ass I sprinted over to the seed shop, only to be disappointed yet again, as always. Until a Fey Hoa was restocked. And hey, I still don't have enough money. That was me realizing, oh, I don't have enough money still, let me go harvest. So I go back to my garden, I start harvesting my tomatoes. Why tomatoes? I couldn't tell you because those are the cheapest things in my garden. And I think I realized that, so I was like, oh, let me harvest some of these lilacs. Let me get this corn because corn is not that great. And I went and sold, but you guys didn't see that. After I sold for about a cool 9 million, what do you know? A master sprinkler was in stock, so I ran my ass over to the gear shop. I said, show me that gear shop, Eloise. Scrolled down to the master sprinkler, and it was 10 million shekels. And as you can see, I only have 9.6 million, not 10 million. So I went back, harvested some more tomatoes, even though they're not worth anything. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to read all the catchphrases and everything popping up at the top of my screen, so I'm kind of getting distracted. But I figured, oh, I harvested some tomatoes, that's enough, right? That'll get me to 10 million. And it didn't, not even close, actually. It was only $57,000. So I go back. Why do I go back to the tomatoes? I don't know. I think it's because I'm most comfortable with getting rid of the tomatoes because I do that all the time for the harvest event anyways, so I was like, oh, I'll just keep doing tomatoes, not realizing that tomatoes will max get me like maybe 75,000 shekels. But listen, you have to remember, it's like 6 in the morning for me, so my brain's not awake, and neither am I. And then I read the next thing that Jindal said, which was, should I admin abuse aliens? And I'm thinking, aliens. What the hell is that? So I go back to my garden, I wait a little bit, I stare at my beautiful tomatoes, harvest some stuff, go sell, because I realized, oh my god, I didn't buy that master sprinkler yet. Boom, finally we have 10 million. And instead of going to buy the master sprinkler, I go to buy the Fehoa, which is not there anymore, and I'm sad about that. I make my way back over to the gear shop, very slowly, like really slowly, apparently. Don't know why I didn't use a wrench, but I finally make it to the gear shop, and now I can get, I'm not sure if this was my first ever master sprinkler, it might have been. I finally get to buy one. Oh, and what do you know? There's no more master sprinkler there. Yay. I couldn't even be mad because it's 6 in the morning and I just didn't have the energy to get upset, so I kind of just went back to my garden, looked around at anything I could harvest, and I was looking for any events that might happen. And then the vague statement of, you know what I haven't done this week pops up, and I'm trying to think, what did he not do? DJ Kai, or Jai, was definitely not what I had in mind. 6 in the morning, pump into some EDM, some dance music, I don't know what's going on at this point. It's a fever dream. So I just try and go back to my garden and pretend nothing happened. But then I notice, oh, some of my crops are blinking different colors. That's really pretty. And I hover over to kind of see what it's called. And it's actually called disco. I don't know why I didn't put that in the video, but it's called disco mutation. And that was my first time seeing disco mutations. At this point, I'm just kind of enjoying the music, going back and forth between the seed shop and the gear shop until that's finally over. And I just continue doing the normal routine, checking the different shops, making sure I'm not missing any admin abuse stocks. As you can see, I keep forgetting to use my wrench. This is like the 3rd time I'm walking back to the gear shop instead of using a recall wrench. And then I notice, oh my gosh, now instead of a paradise egg, there's a bug egg. And guess what? I still don't have enough money because I'm poor. But lo and behold, there's a godly sprinkler, so hey, at least I got some kind of sprinkler, right? Right. I'm back in my garden, just kind of searching around, and then I see, oh, he's gonna do some carrot restocks. So I go to the seed shop and I see, wow, there's literally over 100 carrots. So of course, I buy all of them because carrots can be used for a lot of quests and stuff, and I always find myself needing more, even though they're not very profitable, but they're used for a lot of different quests and stuff. So I make sure I get all those. Then I see, oh, I might admin abuse a bit this stock. Again, this is like the 3rd time he said it. So at this point, I'm not believing anything until I see it. And so I go back to the seed shop. Well, actually, one of you guys joined. So I welcomed you guys. A bunch of you guys started to join actually. I don't know why suddenly everybody joined, but they did. So I went around and liked everybody's garden, of course, and said hi to you guys. In the meantime, I was just checking the seed shop, wasn't really missing anything until he started doing some god tier restocks. So I started with banana and then a kiwi, and I was like, oh, better get ready for that sugar apple, right? Next was pineapple, Those were my first pineapples. I was pretty excited. So I was jumping up and down, as you can see. I was waiting for more seed restocks, but there were none that time. So back to my garden, I planted down my pineapple. I planted down nothing else because then this happened. Tacos started raining from the sky. Not actually, but the song started playing and I was uncontrollably dancing. Again, this was my first time experiencing these events, so I was kind of confused as to what was going on at 7 in the morning now, I think it would be. I'm just kind of looking around, kind of in awe, and then as you can see, I said I was dancing IRL. I literally was. I was bouncing back and forth in my chair at 7 a.m. while my boyfriend was asleep behind me on the bed. So he probably woke up, looked at me, and was like, what is that crazy bitch doing? Anyways, I enjoyed the rest of the taco song, looking at the rest of my plants, until it was finally over. And I went to go check out your guys' gardens, because I love checking out your guys' gardens. And this first garden I checked out, look at how beautiful it is. It's like a jungle, but the best kind of jungle. So much color. It's so packed in there and I love it. And then I see a SpongeBob flower appear in the back and I'm confused as to what's happening. And then I see he said, oh, so satisfying to swim around. So of course I try to swim around, and what do you know? I can swim anywhere on the map. Literally, I can swim anywhere. But then the seed shop restocked, so of course I had to bolt my way back to it and go check the stock. Was there anything good? No, that's why I cut it out of the video. So instead, I decide to see how high I can swim up. What do you know? Somebody else is also doing that. Somebody else had the same idea as me. So I kind of follow their lead and swim directly up until eventually, I think I hit a ceiling, right? We're about to see here. Yep, I hit the ceiling and I was like, okay, maybe not that high. Maybe that's a little bit too high. Back to Earth. We're down back at my garden. I'm looking at all the mutations I've got. I've got a bunch of disco ones, of course, on all my tomatoes because F tomatoes. And I'm just trying to read all of the dialogue that's popping up at the top of my screen, and I noticed the word sugar apple. I didn't even know what he said. I just saw sugar apple and I stopped in my tracks and decided, you know what, maybe I need to pay attention. He might restock here in a second. So I do some last minute checks on my plants. I harvest some because I kind of want to see how much they're worth. And that's what I do right now. I go and sell, see how much money I make with just, you know, some tomatoes and stuff. And it was about 5,000 for one tomato, which isn't bad. And then I noticed, okay, sugar apple is going to be restocked at 5 minutes, so I've got some time. So I start responding to some of you guys in the server and interacting with you guys, asking you guys some questions. As you can see here, I didn't know how much a sugar apple was because that's how much of a noob I am. And then this happened. It ear blasted me at 7 in the morning. I was just trying to figure out how much sugar apple seed was worth, but instead I was ear raped. So I noticed there's lightning coming down from the sky, and that tells me, okay, maybe I can get like the shocked mutation, which is also really good. So I start looking around my garden, starting to see if I got any more shock stuff, and no, I didn't, because that's my luck. I decided to harvest some blood bananas because those are one of the new crops I got last episode, I believe, and I think they're pretty good. Like, I think they're pretty valuable. So I harvest those, harvest some cauliflower because cauliflower, nobody wants it, and I just sell it because I need some money at this point. I'm still poor. I made almost $1 million, which is pretty good for me at this point. And I go back to my garden to see, oh, what do you know? All of my effing tomatoes are shocked because tomatoes are so good, right? Yeah, so good. Right there, I accidentally harvested my last shocked lilac, and I was actually pretty upset, so I just harvested the rest and pretended, yeah, that's what I meant to do, right? Yeah, definitely didn't accidentally do that. And then some seeds started to be restocked. Started with the feijoa, picked that up right away, then the prickly pear, picked that up right away, and I kind of stayed in the shop waiting to see if any more would be restocked. Unfortunately, no more seeds were restocked at this point, even though I thought he said that sugar apple was going to be restocked in 5 minutes, but it wasn't. I was fooled yet again. So I sit there waiting, and there's nothing. So I make my way back. Do I make my way back? I make my way back to my garden. I wait for the next restock, and it starts raining more tacos. This time I'm doing a different dance. The first time I was doing like the wave. That time I was doing, I don't even know what that would be called. What, the nene? No, maybe the nene. Couldn't tell you. I make my way back to my garden after that, and I kind of just sit there waiting because he keeps saying, oh, I'm gonna run these admin abuses, and I keep getting fooled, and there's no actually good admin abuse. Just kidding, the events were really good, but I'm talking about seed restocks. I'm waiting for the sugar apple. That's what I've been waiting for like my whole life, I fear. I just need a sugar apple in my life. So I'm just looking around my garden, I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, when did I get this Rosy Delight? And I'm kind of confused because that Rosy Delight is very tiny. So I put down a sprinkler thinking, oh yeah, it'll grow, right? That's how sprinklers work? No, that's not how they work, guys. I'm just a noob. I didn't notice what it said on screen, so I just see, and then that happens. So I was kind of confused. There was a giant, like, supernova? I don't even know what that was. A giant explosion, followed by 2 master sprinkler restocks. But hey, this time I can actually get the master sprinklers because I have 29 million instead of 9 million. So I can actually get both. So I make my way over again without my wrench because I'm dumb. I walk my way over, And then it snaps to nighttime, and I was like, what is happening? And I noticed it said black hole in the bottom right. So instead of buying the master sprinklers, I'm distracted by the giant hole, because, you know, holes. And everything's getting sucked in there. So I buy my master sprinklers, make my way back to my garden, and Jandel is talking about some new OP seed, and I'm trying to read, like, wait, is he adding the OP seed, or what's going on? But no, he was talking about next week, which will be the prehistoric update where he's going to add a seed even better than Candy Blossom. So that got me excited for the next week. But in the meantime, we were back at the club, getting turned, getting lit. As you can see, I'm holding that giant thing, whatever that is. Yeah, okay. So you guys traded me 2 plants, or 2 crops, I guess. And I accepted them just because I was like, okay, I'll accept the trades and I won't sell them because I won't be cheating. I'll keep them favorited in my inventory. As you can see, they were both favorited. So just remember that. That's important for later. I go and check out how much those were. They're worth a lot. Then we leave the club, and he's talking about some countdown, 4 minutes and 45 seconds, because that's when the update happens. At some point in here, there was a sugar apple restock. I don't know if I didn't film it or what, but I did get a sugar apple. I still didn't plant it yet, so maybe it's in the future. Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself. Now I'm just looking through my garden again, trying to harvest some stuff, make some money, just in case there's some god tier seed restocks, and you know, I need money to buy one. Then I noticed, oh, Feihoa was restocked again. Feihoa was restocked so much during this event, it was crazy. And it's unfortunate because Feihoas are just trees. Like, yeah, they're cool, but, you know, I don't just want a bunch of Feihoas, okay? I got enough hoes in my life. I don't need another Feihoa. I go and sell, I make $1 million more, which is, I was pretty excited about because that's a lot for me at this point in the game. Then I kind of just look at my garden and I take it all in, walk around again, and he said sugar apple is going to be restocked in 2 minutes. So it's time for me to lock in. I harvest some stuff. I don't know why I harvested 2 things, guys. I think I was trying to see how much stuff was worth. So I harvested like what was that, a shocked melon, and I wanted to see how much it sold for. And you know, that stuff sold for a lot and I barely harvested anything, so I was pretty surprised. At this point, I'm just trying to get to 25 million because that's how much you guys told me a sugar apple seed is worth, I believe. So I go back into my garden looking for some stuff that I can harvest that's valuable, but not too valuable that I want to keep it on my garden. Which is harder than it looks, okay? I was even scared to harvest those tomatoes because I wasn't sure I was ever going to get those mutations again. I would. And then it started raining more tacos. This time I'm doing the wave again. And I am sick of the song at this point. I've heard it so many times by 7 a.m. More than anybody should listen to this song before 7 a.m., okay? I was done. I was done at this point. I was just waiting for the sugar apple restock, and I was being harassed by tacos falling from the sky. So, cut to the update. I did end up buying a sugar apple in that time, so that's when I bought it. As you can see, I'm back down to 4 million. This is when the update happens, and I'm like, oh my gosh, a mega harvest. What is a mega harvest? Let me get that tomato method rolling right now. I go back, harvest my tomatoes, as always, so satisfying. I get them all, even though they're shocked and have a bunch of mutations, and I feel super bad for just giving them to Georgia, but Georgia needs them, okay? She's gonna give me rewards for it. Good rewards, right? Right, because it's a mega harvest and I'm gonna get mega rewards. That's what that means, obviously. So I continue harvesting my tomatoes with my cat just, you know, chilling in the center. Per the huge. I get all of them, I go back to Georgia. I handed all of my tomatoes in, and here come the mega rewards, right? We got a watering can, honey, shekels, summer seed pack, rare egg, more summer seed pack, and a blood moon crate. That's literally it, y'all. And I stopped on Divine because people were saying, oh yeah, Divine gives you better rewards. Divine gives you better rewards. Where, bitch? Where? I literally just got shit, okay? That was all ass. I go and check the seeds just for like a little reprieve, and I get some pineapples, which I guess, fine. I'll settle for some pineapples because I don't have that many pineapples and they're new. Fine. At this point, I'm just kind of checking the chat, answering you guys, because I'm still waiting for those seed restocks, and it's almost 8 a.m. at this point. So I've been up for over an hour, and I only got like 2 hours of sleep, so I'm like delirious, as you can see, because I'm trying to put an egg down, and I already have 3 down in front of my face. Like, hello, what am I doing? So I hatched the rare egg, what did I even get? What is that? It's a spotted deer. Of course it's a spotted deer. I always get spotted deers from rare eggs. So I put another egg down to replace its disappointing brother. Maybe it'll live up to my expectations, unlike the first one. I continue to answer you guys in the chats, and you guys were on the same page as me, saying that what the hell were those harvest rewards, because we all got shit. That was not worth it. It was not it. I was pretty upset at this point. The event shop didn't even have anything good in it, and right there, y'all. Right there was the incident. I don't know if you saw it, but I sold and suddenly became a trillionaire. I was barely breaking millionaire, okay? And this account, if you guys have been watching for a while, you know this account is supposed to be the one where I don't accept any trades and I don't sell anything and I do everything on my own because I like to feel accomplished and feel like I earned everything. So you can imagine how upset I was that I accidentally sold somebody's fruit that they gave me for $1 trillion and became a trillionaire, because it's hard to become a trillionaire on your own, okay? It's not easy. And at this point, I was hopeless. You guys were asking me, what am I going to do about it? And I was like, I guess I'm going to spend it, because what else can I do? So I make my way over to the gear shop thinking, oh, I can spend $1 trillion easy, right? Wrong. I bought everything in the gear shop, and I mean everything, and I still had over $1 trillion. Like, it didn't even make a dent. Not to mention, I still had the other fruit that you guys gave me that was worth like trillions and trillions. So at this point, I'm thinking, what can I do? Like, I've been working for weeks on this account all on my own, and suddenly it's been ruined. What can I even do about this? How can I undo that? And unfortunately, I didn't come up with any ideas. The only idea I came up with is, I guess I'll make this account the one where I accept trades and, you know, accept your guys' gifts and just become mega rich and mega loaded on this one. And it won't be my, like, grindy account. Instead, I'll have to make a new one where I do everything 100% on my own, not accepting any trades, no exceptions like on this account, because now we know what happens when I make an exception. Disaster strikes. So I decide, fine, I'll make this one where the one where I accept all the gifts, and I'll make a new account where I start over and do everything on my own. And so that's what I end up doing. For the rest of this episode, though, I just buy everything I can, and I spend all my money on cosmetics, literally everything I can buy, and I kind of go back to my garden and, you know, reminisce about all the hard work I did on my own and how far I made it on my own. I'm still pretty proud of how far I made it. I got a sugar apple on my own, at least. I hatched my bug egg, and I got a snail, which I don't think is very great. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know what it does. But, you know, I put down another mythic egg, and then I opened my night egg, because I'm hoping for something really good. Really, really good. I'm hoping for something super good. And I got a frog. I also don't think that frog is great. But I placed down another mythical egg in its place, because maybe it'll live up to my expectations, as always. And this is where I kind of decide, okay, well, there's nothing else I can really do. I'm just responding to your chats and wrapping it up also while falling asleep at my computer as I'm recording. Literally, I'm not even joking. I was falling asleep as I'm typing and stuff. It was not it. So I decided, okay, I just need to end it. So yes, the next coming episodes will be about my journey on my new account where I don't accept any trades, no exceptions. And I'll just give y'all a little spoiler. If y'all have been watching my live, you already know. That garden is actually better than this garden ever was already. So stay tuned for that. As always, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like this, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you leave a like. And I wish you guys happy gardening. Bye, y'all.